Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And the first thing I want to say as we kick off the daily financial news for October 28th is remember my daily cadence this last week, and that is don't panic. If you've been watching this daily financial news for probably the last 4 to 6 weeks and you kind of took action on what we were discussing, you're ready for this. The time this week is kind of coming together as we have discussed. There's a lot going on. We've got to get through this period together. And in order to get to the other side, which is 2021, which is a much, much, much better year, it is going to be painful. And we have been talking about that for a while. So I expect the headlines to be, I don't know, let's call it interesting. They're either going to be extremely positive or extremely negative, and I've sort of been discussing that with you. Today is one of those days that's going to be rough and painful, as I expect. As we get started, let me remind you, we do these daily financial news together at 7:30 a.m. Pacific. It is live, so you may hear a dog bark, a car, or a phone ring or something. I choose to do these live. It's just a better stream of consciousness, and I can get on with my day instead of editing videos all day. So with that, if you like these daily financial news, you like what's going on, do me a favor, hit thumbs up early. Graham Stephan says it matters, and he's got 2 million subscribers, so I listen to him. And then most importantly, if you like to talk money, you like to talk investing, you like to talk about things that could move the needle for you and your family, please subscribe. That's what I do this for. I believe financial freedom starts with a better financial future. I believe a better financial future starts with decisions made daily. Some of it's spending less, some of it's saving more, but there are decisions you can make around investing that really takes you forward. So make sure you subscribe. But be warned, I do create a lot of content. I create 2, 3, sometimes 4 videos a day. So when you subscribe, just realize there'll be a lot of videos coming out every day. They're always original. And, watch the ones that make sense for you and let the ones that don't go by, because I'm sharing with you what I think, what I'm doing in my business. I'm sharing with you what my students are doing, right? This one rental at a time brand, class, book, people are looking at it. They're creating belief, confidence, and most importantly, they're taking action. That's what I'm about, is taking action. If you want to get into real estate investing and you're willing to do the work, the course I have is the best. If you're not ready, just keep watching YouTube. You will get original content every day. All right, so the daily financial news. Again, don't panic. It's going to be a rough day. I think there's a lot of negativity, but again, if you've been watching the channel, I would say the stuff that's coming out right now, give myself a little pat on the back, and you will, we got a lot of these right. Got a question here. Yes, once you buy the course, you get added to the private Facebook group. I created a private Facebook group because I wanted a place just for my students. We talk of vocabulary. I teach what I'm doing, so I wanted a place for them. And most importantly, now the group is growing and students are helping students, and that is just an amazing feeling. And just yesterday, another student did a deal. So again, watching it from afar is amazing feeling to have that private group. So thank you for the question. So again, back to what's going on today. The 10-year note, the U.S. 10-year note has kind of rolled over. The last 4 days have been down. We just broke, hard to say, 0.8. The 10-year note is, let's got another question here. How do you gain access to the group? You have to ask to join the group. It's called One Rental at a Time Works. Ask to join that. I look at them, I verify you're a student, and then you get added. So if you are a student of mine and you haven't joined yet, please ask to join One Rental at a Time Works. That's the private Facebook group. So back to the 10-year note. Again, it broke 0.8, down 4 weeks or 4 days in a row. It's really showing that maybe we're not out of this. There was a general belief that the bond market was going higher. The Fed may have to react, all of those things. But no, it's really showing that we are having weakness heading into the end of the year. No stimulus, Europe going on lockdown. Consumers are going to get nervous. This is what we have been talking about. The German Bund yield just put up a negative 0.63%. There is talk about Germany going on lockdown France going on lockdown. Madrid is already on lockdown. Europe is, I don't know, what do I want to say? In bad shape. Europe's in bad shape, but we in the US, we need to at least acknowledge that Europe felt the pain first last time. So let's realize that we could be 2-3 weeks away from some painful local decisions. I do not want the country going on lockdown again. But there may be some hot spots that need to take pretty significant effort in that. All of this does not help the consumer. Consumer confidence, right? What is the consumer doing? If you've been watching this channel for the last year or so, what do I talk about? What's going on with the consumer and cost of capital? The consumer is about to be bombarded with bad information. So like March, when all of this came out of nowhere, or relatively nowhere, the consumer is going to start saving and stop spending. And in a consumer-based economy, Q4 is going to be rough, much like Q2 was. Again, Chicago. Chicago is a hot spot right now, and they've just shut down restaurants and bars. Again, there are going to be locations where they just make these decisions. And unfortunately, like I've said for the last month, I expect record bankruptcies going on in Q4. Restaurants, bars, hotels, it is going to be extremely painful. And again, something we got right for a long time. Stimulus was never going to happen. I firmly believe that all the stimulus talk the last 2 months was political maneuvering to set us up for exactly what we've got. We have a populace that is angry, scared, and they did it on purpose. Congress, they wanted this election to be emotional, because when you have emotion, you usually vote out the incumbent, right? That's just realities of past elections. We'll see if it works, but it was done on purpose. I firmly believe that was done on purpose. And it's amazing. The loss of life, the loss of lifetimes of effort and work is, I mean, I can't imagine how many restaurants have been in business for 3, 4, 5 generations. Some of them surviving the Great Depression just to be taken out by this. It hurts for me to think about. But remember, 2021 will be better. These restaurants that will go out will be like all the big companies that go through bankruptcy, right? There is a silver lining. It is hard to see in the darkness. These restaurants who are making very, very hard decisions, they should just call it go bankrupt, readjust all of their debt, their leases, their cost structure, and come out swinging summer of next year. That's what they should do. I mean, keep dipping into savings, raiding their retirement accounts just to limp through this crisis, which they have no control over. I feel for them. I get it. I understand. But sometimes you got a bad set of cards. You need to leave the table, right? If you're gambling, just leave. It is unfortunate. Again, tomorrow, I want you to realize that the conversation is going to twist tomorrow. I can already see the headlines. It's going to be disgusting how frequently we hear about this tomorrow. But the GDP print for Q3 is going to be north of 30%, in my opinion. Q3 will go down as the biggest quarter ever, and it will be one of those quarters that you and I look back on in a decade and go, wow, what happened that quarter? Well, we essentially shut the economy in Q2, and that was the makeup quarter. We are in for a double dip recession. Stimulus didn't come, probably won't come till next year. It is not good. We are in a double dip recession, and it gets nasty from here. And again, it's going to be talked about, record quarter, everybody feeling good. We're not feeling good. The consumer is scared, all of that. Boeing, right? Boeing was a frequent topic a year ago. Not much going on there. They're going to cut another 10% of employees. Another 10 to 12,000 employees are going to lose their job. Raytheon, another company in the airline industry, is out saying consumer-based travel is not going to come back for 3 to 4 years. Microsoft reported yesterday. We talked about Microsoft being a big mover after hours yesterday. For all intents and purposes, they've reported a great quarter. Beat on top, beat on bottom, gross margins up. You would think the stock rises from there. But as we discussed, it's not about the quarter that just passed. It's about what are they saying about the future. And Microsoft came out and gave weak guidance. So their stock is going to get hammered. Folks, we got this one right again. If you're watching the daily financial news, we got this right again. It's not about Q3. All these companies are reporting great Q3 numbers. It's about their guidance. And the fact that most, big capital letters, M-O-S-T, most are refusing to give guidance for Q4. Folks, that's a signal. That is a signal. And it's not a good signal, but it is a signal. UPS, great quarter, beat top and bottom line, growing gross margins. CEO refused to give guidance about Q4. Can you imagine FedEx and now UPS not giving guidance in Q4 when you and I know everybody's going to be shopping online? That should not give you warm and fuzzy feelings. Tupperware beat top and bottom line. And again, show you how weak analysts are. Analysts expected Tupperware to report 37-cent profit. Ready? They reported $1.20, almost 4x. Let's call it 3x. What are analysts doing? Why? Yeah, they're just throwing stuff at a board. Six Flags, can you imagine a company in worse shape? Expect them to expect some calls for bailouts. Reported $1.37 loss, expectation of $1, so worse than expected. Something you and I should watch, because again, it's a worldwide commodity, is oil. Oil has been crushed recently. Oil has been crushed. It's down again today, another 5 or 6%. Demand. Oil is that worldwide. If you had one indicator to see how the world economy is going, I cannot imagine one better than oil. Right? Oil is infused in so many parts of the worldwide economy, and it is weak. So, folks, the consumer, right? Oil, consumer, business investment, not good. Q4 is going to be bad. Curious to watch home buying demand. Looks like mortgages have kind of topped out the last 5 weeks, right? We talk about mortgage applications every Wednesday. It's kind of topped out. So I'm curious, is that a sign, A, that, it's a lack of supply problem? B, is it getting colder in some parts of the country? Because the numbers I get in the morning are national. They're not broken down just yet, right? Is it, the Northeast, it's snowing, or Colorado, it's snowing? Is it just the weather related? Or have we pulled forward all the demand, or replaced the demand from the spring selling season? These are questions we need to ask. I saw a headline that I didn't believe. I'm going to have to research this because I saw this as I was coming upstairs to record this for you. It looks like Putin, Russia of all places, issued a national mask mandate. I'm not sure. That could be fake news, but I didn't see that coming. I don't know if that's real. I'm going to look at that later just because it's one of those, wow, that caught me by surprise. So that was interesting. And then lastly, people are starting to talk about the holiday season. Much like you and I have talked sporadically the last month, it is going to be a monster. If you are going to shop online, you better shop early, because the normal shipping times are going to be non-existent. They're talking about a holiday season up 33% online. And I think that might be low. It could be up 50%. So, I'm sorry. So again, the shopping is going to be up, consumers, but I think overall, this holiday season is going to be, it's going to be lower than last year. And that's not what the U.S. consumer-based economy is going to be like. And we're not used to holiday seasons being smaller than the year before. I believe 2020 is going to be smaller, and it should. The consumer is scared. You are going to save your money. Instead of buying 5 gifts, you're going to buy 3. Instead of buying 3, you're going to buy 1. And in some cases, you're going to buy none, and you're going to make them. I have lived through that before. I did a video 3 weeks ago talking about good karma. There was a Christmas that I shared with you, a personal story in that video, where my family was so broke, we didn't get any gifts. My mother had to make them or provide them from things she had. That is going to happen across the country. It is going to be sad, and damn those freaking Congress for doing what they did. They need to go away. As someone said earlier, we need to vote those rascals out. I like that. So at the end of the day, that's what I got for you. I do have 2 interviews today, just so you know. I am going to talk about millennials. I've been doing some research because I believe the millennials are going to be a generation that is pivoting, and they're going to be the generation to watch for the next several decades. So I want to get a handle there. And yes, I believe the One Rental at a Time book will make a great stocking stuffer. It's $15. I think that's a great idea. Somebody just, Tamika, thank you. I think that's a great idea. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. That's the daily financial news. If you like these, we will do it again tomorrow, 7:30. Bye-bye.